So, started when I was 14 years old. I'm turning 19 now. My mum came and saw something in the newspaper, I think it was, or something like that, and then she ended up dragging me along and stuff to Young Writers, because I used to write a lot when I was a kid, but I never used to like do out with it.
I joined because I was being homeschooled and I wanted some more like sociable, like a more sociable learning environment.
It was at that time when I just started college and I just didn't know what my interests were or anything. I just picked all my subjects just at a whim or anything, and I thought, I'll try this out, because I didn't really have any outside interests except for playing my guitar.
I've loved writing for quite a while, so I thought it would be something fun to get my mind off bad stuff. So
I came third in a photo fictions writing competition. They contacted me asking me if I wanted to come to the group, and I was quite scared because the first time I went, everyone seemed a lot older than me.
I was 13, and the reason I came is I was bullied into it, to be fair. My best friend at the time really wanted me to go, said I'd love it to bits. Like, I'd love the writing, love the company, love everything like that.
I started coming to Rotherham Young Writers through a project I did through my comprehensive school in Ramash, and I enjoyed it.
It was about 2012, that first group that we did, and it was about creative writing and coping mental health strategies, was it? And I saw that on a leaflet, my sister suggested it to me, and I sort of went along to the group, met loads of different really cool girls. It was just an all-girls group, and it was a bit like a mother's meeting every week, wasn't it? It was just sort of really fun and warm.
We were at a poetry thing, and I'd never been to like a writing club before, and I thought that it'd be like really academically, but it's not, it's relaxed, and I like that, I really like that.
I started coming to Rotherham Young Writers when I was about 16 or 17. Before that I'd mainly written prose, but I kind of discovered poetry, and that turned out to be what I was good at.
I'd always liked the idea of writing, and when I was younger I tried to do prose, but I'd never thought about doing it in a group with many people. I'd never had the opportunity before, so I joined when I was 16.
I was 14. My grandmother actually told me about the group and just went, you just go, it'd be a laugh. Ended up stopping till I were at least, well, I'm 21 now, so I ended up stopping till I were at least 20.
I was 16, it was actually my first year of going to college, and I was interested in writing when I was in sort of high school, but I didn't really have a place to outlet that. Saw a flyer, showed up, and it's absolutely changed my life, I'd say. It really has, because if I didn't go to those meetings, I wouldn't have started my university course, which is in creative writing. I wouldn't have had the experience from Young Writers to do really well in that course. I ended up with a 2-1, and then I wouldn't have got involved in loads of children's writing charities, which means that I wouldn't now, hopefully, be starting my PGCE in primary education.
Terrified, and I would never have read anything out, and I think I spent those first 6 months that I was there just not reading anything.
When I came I was really anxious about speaking in front of other people, and especially reading my work and stuff, but I came and it's really chilled out, and you just share as much as you want to share.
Oh, everyone's lovely. I was kind of nervous of turning up on my own. I tried to get a friend to come with me, but she couldn't come, and she said, "Oh, go on your own." I was like, "Oh no, I don't want to." But actually, it's really lovely. Everyone is so encouraging. You don't have to read if you don't want to.
I came to the first session and everyone was so lovely, and it was just nice that I kept coming every week. It just sort of broke my week up, and it was just something to look forward to.
Every kind of person that you can imagine comes, which is great.
I was really nervous, and I was really worried, like, you know, these people that are really good, and I'm not going to be the same as them, but it's not. It's so diverse. Like, you've got people like me who are quite rocker, and there's like your geeky people like Doctor Who or whatever, and there's like people that like to go out, and shy people. It's like there's going to be someone you're going to get along with, and you're going to like meet on a level that you're not expecting to, if that makes sense.
People that like other people, I think, tend to come, but also people that are really introverted, so you get a really nice dynamic between those people that are not so ready to just talk about themselves or talk about other things, and then you get other people that want to perform and act and do all those things. You can do those things together, and it brings out other qualities in people that maybe you wouldn't see otherwise if they'd not met those other people.
A lot of the people I'm very close with and very in touch with now, I would have never associated myself with before, but through this mutual love for words and this enthusiasm towards wanting to learn more, wanting to strive and wanting to express yourself, you learn a lot more about yourself than you do if you completely ignore your capabilities in expressing yourself.
Continuously and without pause chirrup at chest level water that is too hot. Cut away wings from and drench foggy reflections of your unhappy body. I've been coming for about 7 months, I think I worked out earlier, and honestly I'd carry on coming for as old as I get. Even though it is like a youth thing, I think everyone's really welcome. And I think that age completely don't matter when you sit in a room with everyone same passions as yours.
The groups are for whatever you want them to be for. I mean, they're a place where it's safe to write anything that you want to. You know, it's a place for expression, no matter what that is. It could be that you want to be the next J.K. Rowling. It could be that you just want to like vent about your mum and she's doing your head in or whatever it is. But it could be, you know, a space where someone feels safe enough to express what they're feeling in a very personal way. Or it could be that they're finding opportunities to get their work out there and to be published.
It's just a nice chilled out environment, you know, loads of great people here, and you're actually going to be listened to. At school you may not feel like you're listened to by your teachers, and you feel like you don't have that sort of like creative way to express yourself.
In English lessons, it's more kind of tense because you have a restricted time, and in the brief kind of lessons where we get to do any kind of creative stuff, it's only for one lesson and then it's only for like 40 minutes or something. But when I came here it was really relaxed.
If you're not here to prepare for GCSEs or some big test, you're here to write, to do what you enjoy, and people here are just here to support you, to help you write.
I've always been terrified of having anything creative marked, because I think you want to write what you love, and I think writing group embraces that because you're not aiming for any sort of mark scheme. You don't have to fulfill any learning objectives. It's just there to write things that are going to make people feel something.
My experience of writing had been from school and in sort of that education context, so it was quite strict and structured, and there was like a clear expectation, and then you just sort of followed suit, whereas I found that the writing here was much more free and flexible, and then rules of structure and like style, they weren't like the main focus. You came to understand them later, but the main focus of the writing sessions was to be free and to be creative.
It gives you way more freedom. It's not sit down, do this. If you come at us with like a poetry kind of thing and you want to write an entire story, that's absolutely fine.
So it's less about following the task and more about you and more about what you want rather than what the person leading the group wants.
I don't do well in classrooms, so I thought that I wouldn't do well here, but I do. It's really nice to just be given something and have every single opportunity to just roll with it, how you want to roll with it.
I would say that Rotherham Young Writers is a place where you feel free. You're not constricted to obviously school's rules. Everything like that. Same with writing in general, you're not constricted to any rules.
It doesn't matter whether you can spell, whether you can use grammar properly, use punctuation. It's all about what comes from your head onto the paper and the way you read it out. So you've got loads of different exercises and ways of advancing in your writing.
If you are dyslexic or you don't like showing your writing well, editing is your friend. no one's going to physically see the first bit that you write. So many times I'll just mentally alter things while I'm reading them out loud to people and be like, I'll check that out later. So no one actually peers over your shoulder and like marks your work like school. You can have all the spelling mistakes that you want. You'll just get help to fix it out later.
I thought it'd be sort of like after school club writing, and it was just so fun and friendly and open. You can have a bit of a chat or not do it and not read it out, and it doesn't really matter.
It's very chilled, and you can just sort of write whatever you feel like, but it helps get you started.
I really like the prompts. This is great for getting ideas out, and you know, it's some stuff that you never think of on your own, and some stuff you think of, that would never work, but kind of at the writing group, you just get encouraged to do whatever you want. Yeah.
I found that it was a real community, which I didn't anticipate, and it was just a real friendship group and a real support in many ways, not just in the writing sense.
I've never felt more of a group, and I have writers and more accepted as a person.
The feedback is really, really good. And yeah, and the kind of, from, not just from Nick and Vicky, but also from other people your age as well.
There's something nice about reading something for the first time to people and getting like feedback, and it's a really nice environment.
Well, it's really good to have just something going on all the time, so having opportunities to enter competitions and knowing about those things, because if you don't know about them, then you don't get the chance to commit yourself to say, right, by this day I'm going to do that, and that's a really good sense of achievement. Even if you don't win anything, it's the fact that you've actually done it, and it just makes you feel more able to try the next thing.
I think it's the best thing that's happened to myself as a writer, because I feel like it's allowed me to explore more about writing and different forms of writing.
Like, I didn't like poetry, I didn't understand poetry when I started. I was like, nah, I don't write it, I don't like it, and I love it now, and I enjoy writing it. So it's just completely, because you learn in a way that doesn't feel like learning.
Well, you just hear so many other like styles of writing, and it opens you up to things that you might not have tried before.
I saw myself as more of a journalistic kind of writer, and that's all I really cared about, just like journalism. Nothing about prose or poetry or any of that lovely stuff. So being introduced to that really expanded my horizons.
Formal and fancy parties where myself and other rather stereotypical aristocrats meet to discuss the war and peasants over a glass of overly priced, non-imported, incredibly vulgar champagne. I'll tell you a secret. I'm afraid of communism.
I like poetry, but the groups opened my mind more to writing stories and things like that, and also spoken word poetry, because before I was quite quiet and I'd never even consider spoken word, but now I'm more confident reading it.
I used to just kind of like sci-fi, and that was the only thing that I would do, but then I started reading Mallory Blackman, and I've got more into this kind of like harsh reality kind of thing and dystopian fiction and different, and I think, and I hardly did any poetry before, but now I'm doing it a lot more often.
Ironically, I was really drawn to acting and spoken word despite my stutter, since I would have yip-yap from left and right saying, oh, but Kurt, you can't do it. You've got a disability, you can't speak. What truly inspired me to just continue writing prose and acting it out loud was the fact that it was spoken word.
I really like the performance aspect of it, because you're just going to build up your confidence no matter how you do it. In a room full of people that are friendly, you can't not want to read out what you've written. And that kind of thing, it takes you further. It teaches you to not be scared of people.
Before, I wouldn't show anyone my work. I kind of just hide it. But now I've been able to show people my work, and they like it, so.
I think now I see myself as a writer and as someone who genuinely sort of could do something with it.
When I joined the writers group, I didn't really see myself that much as a writer. Like, I sort of wrote a bit, but I think like meeting other people and having that encouragement to write more regularly has definitely like increased my confidence.
I think before I came here I hadn't really realised what words and what writing were going to mean until I was hearing all these amazing things, and it's just hearing other people write something great is enough to make you want to write something good.
Through Young Writers I've had all sorts of things given to me, and I've learnt a lot of stuff as well. Like, you know, I've had my work published, I've seen my all-time favourite poet like ever, and I've performed with him as well, like Buddy Wakefield, amazing guy. Yeah, I've had about 2 or 3 pieces of work published in books. I started running the Rotherham open mic performance group.
It was mostly poetry that I found myself really invested in. So I kind of went with that and ended up being part of a poetry slams for my university, open mic nights for the university. I ended up performing with loads of great people.
Performed with Benjamin Zephaniah, which was pretty amazing. I did loads of writers' workshops and festivals, which just gave you a sense that you were actually a writer and it made you take yourself seriously, which was really good. And just meeting loads of people that wanted to try new things as well.
This summer, before I started, I really wanted to find something to do to help me kind of express what I was feeling, but I didn't know how or what to do. I had my guitar, but I wasn't at that level where I could write my own songs and that sort of thing. And I found that, although I wasn't very good at poetry, it was something that just kind of helped me focus on what I was thinking and what I was feeling.
It really helped me calm down a lot now. It really helped me grow up and grow into a better person compared to turning into an hyperactive psycho.
Through this network, I've had my work published a couple of times now, which was a huge highlight, and I was so proud of it. It's made me face some of my demons. I've gained a ton of more confidence, and it's helped massively with my anxiety. I'm having to come out and meet up with everyone and talk about my writing and show my writing to people. I've had to get over that in order to do it, and it's been the biggest help.
I've been bullied a lot, like ever since I can remember really, and I've never really, like other than home, I've never really had like many people to talk to, so it's been like, you know, one of them places where you can feel happy. I've had a really hard time and stuff like that, and it's made me a better person. In the long run, it's made me a better person.
Like, it's given me a way to express myself confidently without worrying about what other people might think, and it's helped me sort of break boundaries I didn't think that I could have broken.
And having confidence to write something, create something, and then stand up and read it and share it with people, I think that's something that I really value, having learnt in my time here.
I've always liked writing for the page, but performing was something that was really outside my comfort zone. Like when I was doing my GCSEs, doing music, I would just like cry because I hated performing and I hated that pressure to be up there and to be something that I wasn't used to being. But I think that gave me a lot of power when I started doing slams, just to be like, I can have this audience in my hands if I want to, and it's, you know, it's practice and it's hard work, but it's something that's achievable even for someone like me who was terrified of doing that.
But it's the single mothers who work 3 jobs so their daughters can be dancers when they miss out on the scholarships. It's the pet shop owner who sells out his business so he and his wife can afford to have kids. It's the best friends who become...
Being able to like mix words and like weave these fabulous poems out of nothing but this and a bit of motivation, since as a kid I wasn't really motivated. In fact, I had quite like a tiny amount of self-esteem, but then Hickey, God bless her, she brought out every word, and then I began to write by myself, and I've really loved every moment that I've had the power to like actually verbalise things. And I actually truly also believe that the writing and the self-confidence in myself actually allow me to grasp a better control of my stutter as well.
Through Young Writers, I went into the writing squad, which is really amazing, and that's something that for people that want to progress and want to get published and do all those writer things, and that's, you know, having Young Writers is a way to find other opportunities, find other ways, and just express the fact that you want to be out there and you want to say that you're going to make your mark on the world.
To find out who they are as a writer, so they can get connected, so they can meet other writers.
It's just a place where you can write, and that's the best thing about it, because you have that opportunity and you have that freedom to do really whatever you want.
Right now, when I do my A-levels, I took in 3 sciences and 2 maths, and it does put quite a strain on your brain. So come here for writing just for like 2 hours a week, every 2 weeks, it does take strain off.
Because it's nice and it's friendly, and you can learn how to write if you want to get better at it and do it professionally. You can learn how to do it like that, or you can just write things because you want to, and it's fun, and no one minds, because we all just are nice people and enjoy writing.
Because you've got something to say, and you know, nothing should stop you from expressing yourself.
You could be really low, you don't have any self-esteem with your writing. You come to Rotherham Young Writers, that self-esteem will jump up and you'll be performing on stage in no time, really.
Somewhere where you can express yourself and be who you are, where you know that nobody's going to judge you for who you are.
I would just say, just to do it, don't worry about not fitting in or not finding, your voice or anything like that. Just come along and try the exercises, because I think you will enjoy it.
Having this group, it means that yes, you can develop in your writing, and you can even learn maybe what it means to be a writer and learn about all these different forms like poetry and prose and flash fiction and scripts and all this different stuff, but so much more than that. It opens you into just this whole other creative world almost, where you can mix this writing with a zine, for example, and put your own work into a mini magazine, or where you can learn to have the confidence to get up on stage and perform your work, and to have opportunities to help run sessions and work with young people.
You can come as much or as little as you want, can't you? And share as much as little as you want. It's just, even if you don't think you're that great at writing, it's just a social environment, and you can hear new things, and subconsciously you just get better and soak it all up.
You want something new, or you want to meet new people, or it's just somewhere to go. If you're bored, as daft as that sounds, it's just somewhere to go and it's something new to try, and I definitely suggest doing it.
As it's a South Yorkshire-wide movement, it's not a project, it's a movement where young people are expressing themselves in a healthy, positive way, and it's benefiting the streets, it's benefiting where people come from, and it's really nice to see how different writers write from different backgrounds.
Well, I think the way I described it to Nick was it was coming home. It's just a place that is just where my family is now. So everyone there is just so nice, and it's warm, and it's just safe, and it's just the best place to be.
It's what I look forward to on Wednesdays.
You end up taking so much out of it just for your general life. That is the one thing that will never ever be told to you, and it will just happen, and it's absolutely fantastic when it does, and you'll eventually realise it a year or half a year down the line that your life has changed just because you've attended a group to start writing.
Rotherham Young Writers changed my life for the better, and it can definitely change your life for the better. Is that a bit cheesy? That's way too cheesy, isn't it? That's proper bad.
I don't know,
01705 111 111. Terms and conditions apply.